guys, welcome back to my channel. Simone here, and welcome back to my channel. I had a week off because my head was all over the place and I just wanted to put out good content. So if you don't follow me on Twitter, you might not know that I've decided to do 2 videos a week rather than 3. So there will now be Mondays and Fridays again like they used to be. There will not be a Wednesday one unless I happen to do an extra random bonus video. And then I'm back. Starting from, you will have seen one last Friday, which was my only pre-filmed one that I'd already done previous to my little break. And then hopefully, yeah, we're back on it again, and yeah, let's get started. So today I'm going to be doing my stand up to the TBR books 41 to 50, which I'm excited about. I love my stand up to the TBR bit, and I've also decided to change this slightly. Only the way I used to do it was I used to look at my Goodreads to read list, and I would go from the oldest 10 on there, but I found that I was buying a lot of books and I don't want to be buying as much. So what I've decided to do is go from my own shelf on Goodreads and look at the oldest ones, so the ones I actually own, because that way I will be cutting down my TBR, which is kind of the point of this anyway, and also it means that I don't have to buy books, which is always a bonus for me. So yeah, let's talk about the 10 books that I want to read in the next 3 months. So actually quite a few of the ones this month are on my Kindle, which is also amazing because I don't tend to read books off my Kindle very often, and I have some really good ones on there, so I'm quite glad that I'm going to be reading a few of those. The first one is Forbidden by Tabitha Suzuma, I think is how you say that. This is the oldest book on my owned list because I've been wanting to read it for a really long time. I know that this is a very taboo book. I believe it's about a brother and sister who are put in a horrible situation and they end up falling in love with each other, so I think there is an incest element, but I've also had that you really feel for the 2 characters, and I'm really interested to read kind of a different topic. Like, that's not a topic I've ever read about before, and I'm just really hoping it's done well. So yeah, I feel like this could be an interesting one, and I don't really know too much else about the circumstances of the book and why this happened, so yeah, very much looking forward to that one. The second book that I will be reading hopefully in the next few months is Stolen by Lucy Christopher, which is a book that I've owned, probably not as long as it's been on my TBR, but I've really wanted it. But this has been, this was a book that I found in a charity shop, I believe, and I'm really excited to read it. Basically, it's a thriller about a woman who was stolen from an airport. She was kidnapped, and I think she was kept imprisoned. And then it says, "This is my story, a letter to my captor." So I'm actually quite interested to read this. I've heard really good things. I think Lucy Christopher is quite a well-respected author as well, so I feel like this could be a really good one, and I do love a thriller. And it's not actually a very long book either, so I'm really excited to get to this one. The third one is one I'm quite nervous about, and that's just because it's such a well-known book on BookTube and everybody has read this book, I feel like, and I have not started the series, and I think there's like 5 books in the series now. And that one is Shatter Me by Tahara Mafi, which I think is about a woman named Juliet whose touch is lethal. Yeah, touch is fatal, and then people are trying to use her as a weapon, I believe. Most I know about this is from Whitney from Whitty Novels, because I feel like this is her favourite book and she talks about this all the time. I think that it was originally a trilogy, and then there has now been like other books added. I'm not 100% sure how that works. I feel like it's a bit like The Selection and how they did that, but I haven't even read the first one, and I've had this on my shelf for a really long time, so I'm actually really wanting to get to it. I'm unsure. I mentioned this in a thing before, but there's quite a lot of crossing out in this book, like a lot of the things that they write, and then it's like, I can't find anything now, I'm sure there was loads. But like, there's a lot of writing, I don't know if you can see that, but there's a lot of writing, and then you can read the sentence, but the sentence has actually been crossed out, so I'm not sure how I feel about that. I've never heard anyone really talking about that either, so yeah, very much looking forward to finding out what I think about this and hoping that I really like it. The next one I have is another Kindle one, and that is called The Siren by Tiffany, I don't know how you say her surname, I'm going to say like Reich or Reif or something like that, I don't really know, I'm really sorry about that. This I believe is an erotica novel, which back in my heyday when I first started Goodreads I probably was more into. Saying that, I didn't read many, but there was a few. But now it's really not my type of thing, so I'm quite interested to see if I enjoy this book or not. I will still read it because, like I said, it is on my Kindle, and I feel like I read Kindle books so much faster, so I feel like I can get through that one quite quickly. I don't have massive hopes for it, I don't really know anything about it, but I am interested, shall we say. Next up is a book that I do own. It's really, really short. It's like 50 pages long, and that is Kindred Spirits by Rainbow Rowell. It is somewhere in the boxes upstairs, and because it's so small I really can't find it. Like I said, I haven't yet fully unpacked because my bookcase is being delivered from my flat to the new house. I think on Friday, so when this video goes up I'll have the new bookcase hopefully, but at the moment I can't really find the book, all of my books, so that one I can't find. But this, I believe, I really love Rainbow Rowell's writing. I've enjoyed pretty much every book I've read of hers apart from Landline, so I feel like Kindred Spirits could be a really good one. Again, it's like 50-60 pages, not very long at all. I believe it's about Star Wars convention, which I feel like could be really interesting, because I really enjoyed Geekerella by Ashley Poston last year, and that was about a sort of convention and about that sort of thing, so I hope that it's along the same lines, and like I said, I really, really enjoy Rainbow Rowell, so hopefully this one will be a great one too. Next up is another book that I have had on my TBR for a really long time. Obviously that's what this is about, but I feel like actually reading the ones that I own has really pulled out some really interesting ones that I probably wouldn't have got to for quite a while on this Stand Up To The TBR thing, so I'm really glad that I'm doing it that way now. And that is Everything Everything by Nicola Yoon. I feel like everybody and their mum has read this book, and I know there's a film out of it now, and I still really haven't actually read any of Nicola Yoon's books. I think she's got another one called, is it The Sun Is Also a Star? Is that her? This follows a woman or a girl named Maddie who is allergic to pretty much everything, and she's sort of kept in her house, and then I believe a boy moves in next door and she wants to kind of be normal and be able to go out in the world again, and I think it's about that. I'm really interested. I hope it's not a kind of the boy comes into the world and kind of she's suddenly fixed, because I really hate that trope, but I'm interested definitely to read this. I feel like everybody has enjoyed this book that has read it, so yeah, very much looking forward to it. Also, still not a very big one, and it's YA, which is one of my favourites, so yeah, looking forward to this. Next up is another Kindle book that I have, and it's called Grey Justice by Alan McDermott, and I believe it's the first book in a series. I think the series is called Tom Grey series. I don't know too much else about it. I'm going to read the synopsis. So it says, when ex-soldier Tom Grey loses his wife and child to a career criminal, it seems life can't get much worse. But when the killer is let off with time served on remand, Grey knows there is something fundamentally wrong with the justice system. Engaging the help of his ex-SAS buddies, he kidnaps 5 repeat offenders and asks the public to vote on their fate. Should they be allowed to continue their criminal ways with inadequate punishment, or has Britain had enough? His website attracts a worldwide audience, and although the authorities know where he is, they are powerless to stop him. Can Grey carry out his audacious plan? Will Andrew Harvey and his fellow MI5 operatives find a way to stop him? Grey Justice is more than a simple tale of revenge. It's a rollercoaster ride with an ending you'll never forget. And now I feel like I'm even more excited to read it. That really sounds like something that I will enjoy to read. I think it's really interesting reading about like crime and thrillers and killers and all that sort of thing, but I feel like that one just sounds really up my street. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to reading that one. And yeah, I really enjoyed Cell 7. I can't remember who that was by, but that kind of had that similar like the public decide on people's fate sort of thing, and I'm really interested to see how they do this one. The next one is a little bit different in that the one that I'd actually put onto my TBR, apparently the oldest or the longest ago, was actually Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare, but I can't read that book because I haven't read the rest of the series, like the books that come before that yet, so I figured I would just sort of take this as being reading the next one in the series that I haven't read. So I'm finally, hopefully, because I keep saying I'm going to read this, going to read City of Heavenly Fire by Cassandra Clare, which is the final book, book 6 in the Mortal Instrument series. So when I read this, I can read, there's like filler books, and then there's the Infernal Devices, and then I can get on to Lady Midnight. But I feel like this will finally finish a series, and now it's on the Stand Up To The TBR. It means I have to read it in the next 3 months, which fills my heart with joy that I'll finally be finished with this series, because how many times have I now said I'm going to read this? It was definitely on a TBR a while ago. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. This follows the Shadowhunter world, and that is Clary and Jace are the main characters, and they essentially they're fighting against the demons essentially, and there's lots of different things in this. Most people have heard of the Mortal Instrument series, and yeah, I really want to read this book finally. It's quite a massive one as well though, so we shall see when I read this. The next one is a James Patterson book, and you all know James Patterson is one of my favourite authors. This one is actually the first in a new series that I haven't started yet of his, and that is the book First to Die by James Patterson, which is the first book in the Women's Murder Club series. I'm really excited to read this one, and I know there are so many in the series. I own the first one and I haven't read it, and I've had it for ages. So finally I will be getting to this one, and I couldn't be more excited because, like I said, James Patterson is one of my favourites. And then the final one is Second Life by S.J. Watson. I read Before I Go to Sleep by S.J. Watson a couple of years ago and I really loved it, so I really want to read this one. Again, I do own this one, it's upstairs somewhere and I'm not 100% sure where right now. But yeah, very much looking forward to this. Again, it's another thriller and you know I love them, and when they turn up in my stand up to the TBR list, I'm even more excited by it. Yeah, so that's really exciting. Anyway, that is the 10 books that I'm hoping to read in the next 3 months for the stand up to the TBR this time. Let me know if there's any that you are really interested in. I'm already doing 3 buddy reads in April, but if you want to buddy read any of these books in May, do let me know as well. I would very much like that. I have 1 buddy read in May, so I would very much enjoy to have another one. And give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I shall see you next time. Bye guys!